Yay, peeps. How you all doing out there on the worldwide wobbly wonderful? Sister Elle here with you for the full moon in Aries reading. Yay! How you all doing out there? Yes, it's time for the full moon in Aries. So we need to look back on ourselves and our charts and see where we were in roundabout to the beginning of April when we had the new moon in Aries and we were planting our seeds ready for them to bloom at this time. So see what it was that you were sowing at that time of the new moon in Aries and see how many of your plans, dreams and ambitions and driven sense of being have come into fruition at this time of the full moon. So we are currently still in Libra season. Happy birthday all you Librans, and I hope you're enjoying. And as we're coming closer to the end of Libra season, we still have a little while yet. And so Libra season, as we know, is about relationships and about balance. It rules the 7th house on the wheel of the zodiac, and this usually represents marriage or partnerships. And sometimes we're a little bit, we can use our rose-coloured glasses. But no, the full moon is coming and we have to accept what we see in front of us and see the seeds that we planted as we sprung forth into the springtime. Yes, so what does the full moon in Aries bring? Well, the full moon will show us where we've put our drive and ambition and will highlight these areas in our life. It will also show us an area of our life where we have great passion and where we like to fulfill our deeds. Even though Aries is known for starting more than finishing, it's the drive that we need to get things started in the first place. This is what Aries is. And the drive of Mars, which rules Aries, the ruler of Aries there, Mars, giving us a good kick and getting us to use our action in ways that will benefit us. And like you say hello to my little Hong Kong t-shirt. Yes, and thank you very much for that. So we think about all of the things that are happening right now. We have lots of planets still in Capricorn. So I'll just jump around for a little while like I do. So we have lots of planets in Capricorn, and Capricorn's the structure of our societies and how we structure our lives generally. And at this time of the full moon, we're going to have a planet which is in Capricorn right now, which is Pluto. And Pluto likes to restore, regenerate. It likes to bring a bit of a bomb with it. So Pluto is going to be here at this full moon with Aries, with the moon in Aries and the sun in Libra. So Libra will be there giving some diplomatic help and some balance. So Venus is in the picture there. Venus is the ruler of Libra and also of Taurus. And so there'll be weighing up and decision making going on over this period with ourselves, and also, as we can see, in the wider world there in government. And so this is what's happening with the sun in Libra and the moon in Aries being a full moon. We'll see where our actions have brought us to at this time. And as we can see, there's lots of protesting. People are not happy with whatever they're receiving in their current vibration of life, and so are aiming to change structures that may be in place for quite a while, as Capricorn rules long-term structures. So any structures and changes that we make during this time, and for the big hoo-ha that's going to be happening with Pluto and Saturn and the sun when we have the eclipse there in Capricorn season, which will be in the new year of 2020. But for now, this is kind of like a build-up that's going to be progressing towards that issues to do with government and wider world organisations, and we'll be able to see the results of any change that are coming towards us as a society and how we can implement our own being within that society. With Aries being the ruler of the first house and ruled by Mars, we come into this world initiating whichever sign is our first house. The first house is seen as a house ruled by Mars, an Aryan house. So this is where we have a lot of power, a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, a lot of ways that we go for it in the world, as they say. And we all need that spark of life that brought us here in the first place and made us swim for the prize of the egg to form as we are now. So the drive and passion of that will be with our emotions, and it's the moon that's full right now. So the moon with Aries may have very passionate emotions. There may be a lot of, it can heighten out into anger, or it can just be a way to express energy that's been built up inside us or that needs to be pronounced. A good way to you use this energy, as they say, for physical use, some dancing maybe, going to the gym, anything physical, decorating, redecorating. All these energies are great for the Aryan spirit that we have right now. So let's look at the houses that people will be in for the spirits. Let's get me googs on, shall I? Shall I put my shades? Shaded googs. Yes, very good. I look like someone out the Matrix, right? Okay, so the full moon in Aries. So Aries, obviously you have the first house, so the full moon will be shining on all your plans, ambitions, things that have come thus far in the past 6 months, and you'll be able to see what needs highlighting and how you can celebrate at this time of your fullness. You've got the sun in the 7th house, so you're working with one-to-one relationships right now and partnerships. And I hope things are going great for you there, Aries. Taurus, you have the 12th house of the full moon. So you'll have a fullness from your dreams and ambitions. Any seeds that you planted in a dreamlike way, maybe sprouting roundabout now. And you have the 12th house for that, and the sun in the 6th house. So some of you Taurians might have started a new health regime, a new fitness, or changed your diet, did something else to make you feel better, okay? Gemini, you have the 11th house of this full moon in Aries. So you'll have some emotions coming up, maybe with groups that you've been associated with. They'll come into a fullness, be able to see where you fit in and how you want to fit in for this full moon in Aries. And the sun currently is in your 5th house, so there's lots of relationship shine on that. So in your 5th house of fun and children. So I hope you're having a fine time there, Gemini. Cancer, you have the 10th house of this full moon. Full moon. So there'll be a lot of shine on your ambitious streak and what has been created so far from the new moon that we had there in April. So that's you, Cancer. You'll be coming to the fullness of your authority and how it has been used. And you've got the sun currently in your 4th house of home and family. So there may have been light and warmth shining in that area of your life, and you can rearrange as you may. Okay, Leo, you have the 9th house of this full moon. So maybe things that were maybe hindered, you can see now. You can see about traveling plans, make more traveling plans. You could have ambitions to be studying, or if you're currently studying at this time, you can see the results of how you've come so far. You've got the sun there in your 3rd house of neighbours, friends, close friends. So you'd be having some liaisons there, no doubt, Leo. Virgo, you have the 8th house of other people's resources. There'll be a shine there of how you've used other people's resources, or how you currently use them within a project, and there'll be a light shining, so you'll be able to go forth further down the line. You can see where you are going. And the sun is currently in your 2nd house, so you'll be looking at personal finances and relationships that you have with people and personal finances. Libra, you have the 7th house of this full moon shining on you. So there'll be a great shine on how far you've come with your relationships, how your relationships are working. Do you need to even them out, balance them out in certain areas of your life? So that's you there, Libra, knowing the 7th house quite well. And you have the Sun, obviously, currently in your 1st house. And this is why it's the time of Libra association and getting together. Okay, Scorpio, you have the 6th house for this full moon, so you'll be able to see a shine and a difference with any health matters that you may have had. Maybe you'll see some breakthroughs. You can see your way forward a bit more on the best way to look after your health and daily matters, health and work life, to balance it out. And you've got the sun currently in your 12th house of dreams and ambitions, and so it's waiting to come into your 1st house later on down in the month. Is that right, Scorpio? So your sun will be shining on your dreams and ambitions and how you may be using them at this time. Okay, Sagittarius, you have the full moon in your 5th house. You'll be able to have a good shine on your joys and pleasures, what really resonates with you, and you'll be able to go forward seeing what kind of, what brings you joy and pleasure. You have a good spec of that. And the sun currently is in your 11th house of groups. And so you'll be able to find out which groups that you associate with, which groups that you can get on with, because Libra is about how we associate with others. Okay, so Capricorn, you have the sun, this full moon, this full moon of Aries in the fourth house. So the fourth house is home and family. So there'll be some emotional matters maybe highlighted at this time, the fullness of this full moon in Aries for you, Capricorn, there in the fourth house. And you have the sun currently in your 10th house. So your dreams and ambitions are being highlighted there, and you're using your relationships very well in that area. Okay, Aquarius, you have the third house of friends, neighbours, short distance travelling, also teaching, I would say. And so you have a fullness shining on there in your third house. You can see how far you've come within the past few months. And also you have the sun currently in your 9th house. And this is where the sun is shining for you to relate, have relations. So you may have been stuck a little while with higher educational matters. And now the sun brings an even balance, an opening for you to have discussions with people that you may have been waiting to have discussions with. Okay, and Pisces, you have the second house of this full moon, and this will be highlighting your personal finances, how you use your personal finances. There'll be a light shining on that there with Aries in the Aries in your second house, and you'll also have the sun in your 8th house right now. And so you'll be seeing how you use other people's resources, how you do business, and etc. relationships. Okay, now with this full moon, I did say Pluto was there, the planet of restructure and regeneration, and that will be at 20 degrees like the sun and the moon. So Pluto represents our sexual organs, along with Mars in the sign of Scorpio. So it likes to regenerate and revamp. So areas in our lives will be feeling this regeneration also at the time of this full moon in Aries, okay, which will be happening on the 13th of October. Okay, so Pluto, the planet of regeneration. So Capricorn, it's in your house. You've had a lot of structure and regeneration for this past year, 18 months, no doubt. And so it's in your first house, so I'm sure that you've seen lots of things change at this time. We've seen structures in our own society change, and so this will be highlighted greatly at this time of the full moon. And Cancer, you'll have the 7th house as you're in opposition to Capricorn, and so there may be a lot of regeneration within your one-to-one relationships and partnerships. Aquarius, you've got the 12th house of Pluto, so dreams may be shattered or restructured to be reformed. And Leo, your opposition there's in the 6th house and might have had a restructure of health and work life. Pisces, you have the 11th house with Pluto in there, giving it a jig, restructuring your groups and people that you hang around with. And Virgo, in opposition to Pisces, you've got the 5th house of Pluto in there, giving you a jig of who you like to spend time with, and also which hobbies that might need a change and a restructure. Aries, you have the 10th house of Pluto there, giving your career and how you see the world a bit of a shake-up and a bit of a restructure. And in opposition there, you have Libra, the 4th house. Your Pluto is restructuring your home and family life, and maybe even physical features around your body. Taurus, you have the 9th house of Pluto, so there'll be a restructure there for higher learning and far distance travelling. Maybe you'd be rethinking about where you are travelling. And you've got Scorpio in your opposition in the 3rd house of local travel and friends and neighbours. So there may be a bit of a jiggy there. And Gemini, you have the 8th house of Pluto in there. So you'll be sorting out how you use other people's resources and finances, and a bit of a jig will be going on there. And Sagittarius, in opposition to Gemini, you have the 2nd house of personal finances, and Pluto's giving us a bit of a bing bang there. Okay, peeps, well, here we have it, the full moon here now in Aries. So I hope you enjoy that. You'll be feeling a lot more energy, a lot more strength, a lot more vav in your voom, as they say. And it's a great time to see the fruition and to be joyous about what you see in front of you, and see how it's individuated your own personal growth. It's great to grow with others, but also we need to come to a time where we see the fullness of how we've grown within our own self, and to keep that structure going Okay? Now, nothing in life obviously is confirmed or definite, as they say, and change is the only constant. So it's good to be flexible in this cardinal time of this full moon and sun in Libra, full moon in Aries and sun in Libra. And I hope you have a banging time, and I'll see you all pretty soon. Okay.